Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, figuring out things, getting stuff sorted, but it's a Groza Class set of video. I felt like I should have, done this a lot earlier than I did, but, Groza Class set of video. You can't ask more. This will be a gunfighter class setup, as I feel like it does the best. I feel like no 5 attachments do well. Microflex or any sight you want. Then you've got the KGB Eliminator. Then you've got the barrel 16.7 VDV reinforced, steady aim laser, Spetsnaz grip, control that recoil, 40 round drum mag. I feel like 30 rounds just isn't enough. GRU elastic wrap and KGB pad, both are standards. Gives you a lot of that, movement and ability to kind of challenge people in close range and, that quick ADS time from the airborne elastic wrap. But this weapon has a kind of like unique recoil pattern that takes a little while to control. So it isn't extremely easy to control right away because it's got like this kind of like reverse curve, like this kind of like C shape, I guess, or like an S shape. It's got like a curve to it, like a curve to the left and then start working back to the right. And so it's got that kind of weird recoil pattern. That's why I have the KGB Eliminator. Eliminates a lot of that recoil, plus the Smetsnav's grip, two of the best recoil controlling grips out there. So there's that for those. And then, just some other attachments. And I think the Groza is a solid weapon. It's a fun weapon if you're wanting to look for something else to use. And obviously, you could say, well, what about 5 attachments? Me personally, if I was to make a 5 attachments class, I would use the KGB Eliminator, Elastic Wrap, KGB Pad. Those are staples. The Spetsnaz grip and, maybe the 40 round drum mag. I just feel like with the inaccuracy with the weapon, being it a little bit harder to control, extra bullets will definitely help, an extra magazine size. And saying that it doesn't always pack like the hardest punch per se, it kind of feels weak and stuff compared to some of the better assault rifles in the game, the Krig, the XM4, the AK-47. So I feel like it does the best. And, I haven't actually used the Groza in like 2 months. I'm kidding, not 2 months, but like a month. It's been a while since I've actually used the weapon because, again, these gameplays were recorded probably back sometime in December, honestly. But again, the Groza is it's a fun weapon to use if you're looking for something else to use, trying to get it diamond, getting it diamond. It was fairly fun to use. Long shots were a little bit tough because of, the unique recoil pattern. And if you wanted me to compare to other assault rifles, I still just don't think it reaches the level of the top 3, the Krig, the XM4, and the AK-47. I definitely do think it's on the same level as the QBZ and the Fafar. They have the things they strive at. Groza and the Fafar both do fairly well in the close range sorts, while the QBZ is better suited for long range. I see a lot of people say the QBZ's good in close range or stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? Or maybe it's something else. I don't know. The QBZ, the problem with it is it's terrible in close range, and that just doesn't work for a lot of people's playstyles. A lot of people are run and gun. You're bound to get into close range gunfights. And when you have an assault rifle that just struggles in a ton of those fights, like I pretty much used the QBZ on Nuketown my whole time getting it gold. And so the first time I went onto Satellite, a different map, I went on like a 12 kill streak and got a gold like on that uh, map. I don't know if it was because I know I needed bloodthirsties, I think, to end it because I was struggling. I was just getting a lot of 4-3 kill streaks. But yeah, it's a very it's just a weapon that strives in long range compared to Groza. They look very similar in size and structure, the QBZ to the Groza, and a lot of the attachments are sort of similar. For the QBZ, I like to attach the 40 round mag on that, but the Groza is kind of the opposite brother of the QBZ in a sense that it does a lot better in the closer ranges compared to the longer ranges. And it's a very fun weapon to use. Again, it's just a weapon, if you're tired of using another weapon. Problem is, I know with skill based matchmaking, a lot of people you're going to tend to use your favorite weapons, the weapons you're best with, the weapons that are the best. Your XM4s, your Krigs, your AK-47, which of those three weapons, you could have your own discussion about. And, we'll have that own discussion. So, if you're not looking to use the Groza, because at this point I've ran out of ideas to, say stuff on the Groza. The Krig is your long range, your beam machine, with that QBZ. Not as great as close range, but can do a fair deal. The AK is the jack of all trades. It's the best AR in the game. It's got that close range, long range. Pretty much can put attachments on it to make it have no recoil. It is literally the perfect assault rifle. Then the XM4 is slightly below the Krig in long range, but uh, has the close range benefits, and its recoil pattern a little funky, but very controllable, very controlled recoil, and it just beams. Has high bullet velocity, so a really good weapon. And if we're talking competitive, the Groza will probably never be in competitive. Same with the QBZ. The Fafar, if there's a nerf, it could become a flex weapon for players who are kind of in a flex role, but other than that, it's pretty much going to be a Krig or an XM4 kind of AK-74U, because other than a couple of situations, I just feel the XM4 is a lot better than the Krig because it just does all the job of the Krig does better, except for the long ranges, which you really don't need that as much. You need the ability to gun SMGs in close range, but the Groza will not be in competitive. Sorry if you guys were hoping for it. I mean, I don't know if they're allowing DLC weapons this year in competitive. Probably not, but who knows? That or else the Mac 10 would be used, so, you know. But, again, I'm going to also be making some videos on the SMGs. First is the AK-74U because I started using it more recently. I actually got it gold, which is, cool and stuff. But the AK-74U will probably be the next class setup video. I'm thinking about making a video on the Call of Duty League, not launch weekend, because the launch weekend has already passed, but prior to the first home series, which is basically just, league matches, just match play. Match play. I don't know how I'd like to explain it, but it's just basically like matches. I mean, I'm explaining this poorly, but you know, I'll look over the matches, explain what I think will happen in this series, and based on what we've seen so far from the launch weekend, all based off the launch weekend, all based on it. So sublighters, they're gonna lose 3-0, 3-0. I'm kidding, but I'll go further in detail in that. So I have plans to hopefully upload that. If I've got great feedback for it, I'll definitely continue. I still am not sure if I per se want to do it, because there's a lot of things that are behind the scenes with the Call of Duty League that you might not even really see, especially with scrims and stuff. So when teams are scrimming, from what I've heard from Clayster, member of New York Subliners, who they're ultimately kind of played the worst in the league on during the launch weekend, but they've apparently improved. So, taking his word for it. Also, make sure to leave, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications.